Group C is the last group to play their final group matches before we advance to the next round, and with all 4 teams on 3 points, this is going to be very close indeed. Lee Phelps, William Hill's in-play radio host, is on the line to preview both matches taking place on Sunday. We've just discussed Colombia versus Peru, and now we move on to Brazil versus Venezuela. Brazil are big favourites against Venezuela. What are you expecting on the pitch?
I don't know. This should be a hope. This should be a win for Brazil, shouldn't it? I mean, what? I just don't get it. I don't understand what's going on with Brazil. You know, all of a sudden they lose a game and the pressure's heaped back onto them again. You know, we talked in the preview of this competition, didn't we, about what happened to Brazil at the World Cup when it all just caved in on them and they lost all that confidence. I'm worried that that's going to happen again here. You know, Venezuela beat Colombia and I was shocked to see that, but they proved that they're not to be taken lightly. I don't think they can. I mean, if they beat Brazil, I mean, you know, that would be almost akin to them losing to Germany 7-1. Maybe not quite as bad as that. But, you know, I'm worried about Brazil. I'm worried about the confidence. I'm worried about what they will be like without Neymar. They're not a one-man team, but, you know, they're kind of this great run they've had under Dunga has come to an end. Now, how do they bounce back from that? You know, can they bounce back and be confident and go back into the game against Venezuela like nothing's happened? Or will that confidence have been hit so hard like it was in the World Cup that they look brittle again? I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question, honestly. I think it's going to be a really intriguing game. Now, Venezuela I thought they would go into this tournament and be a team who would be like really kamikaze. They'd be flying forward, goals at either end. But actually, they look pretty solid against Colombia. You know, I watched that game and I thought, you know, they look like a very, you know, disciplined team, actually. So I think they could make life difficult here for Brazil. I'm struggling. I don't think I can back Brazil at what, you know, at the price. I think I'd either have to take Venezuela on a handicap bet or even just go for the draw. But I mean, you know, either team can get through as well. This group is all locked tight on 3 points. So Venezuela have got lots to play for here. I'm really scratching my head over this game. One of the hardest games I've had to predict for a long time, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Winners market has Brazil 1.5, Bet365. The draw 4, Bet365, and Venezuela 7.5, Labrooks. Do you think this is going to be a tighter game than the other sort of Group C match that we previewed, and therefore are you kind of maybe angling towards lesser goals in this match?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Neymar, some of the skills that Neymar showed in this tournament have been phenomenal. But he's clearly, you know, the best player on the pitch whenever they play. You know, I think he's reached 44 goals for Brazil in a quicker time than the likes, you know, of Pelé even, and, you know, Ronaldinho and Ronaldo and so on and so forth, and Romario and everyone else. I think that's largely because there's so much pressure on his shoulders. You know, who else takes up the pressure here? You know, without Neymar there, you're looking at Roberto Firmino and Martins Diego Tardelli. I mean, these guys aren't world-class, you know, people who everyone thought, oh, what a fantastic player. Obviously good players, but they're not in the class of Neymar. So I don't think Brazil have got that many goals in them. I think they'll be nervous after that defeat, and I think they'll be looking to keep things tight at the other end. You know, we said before the tournament that they are all about defence. They are worried sick about what happened to them in the home World Cup with Germany, and I think they'll be ultra tight here. And, you know, if they show signs of nerves, I think we could see Venezuela really pushing them hard here, but definite under 2.5 here, without a doubt. I really don't see goals in the game. I think it's going to be a nervous one, this one. I mean, you know, the under 2.5 and over 2.5 odds, you know, it's short, isn't it, the under 2.5, but, you know, I think I'd have to take it this time. I just don't see goals in the game.
Yeah, not too bad, though. 1.8 Labrooks. I think that's quite decent.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. What about both teams to score? Is that a bit iffy?
Yeah, I'd be saying no on that one, to be honest with you. I think it could be a one-goal victory for either side. I mean, the last two times these teams have played, they've held them to a 0-0 draw. You know, in each of the 2 previous encounters. So they've got a little bit of kind of history there with Brazil as well. They managed to thwart them. You know, the 0-0 might be a bit of a stretch, but the under 2.5 and the no to both teams to score would be something I'd be looking at. I mean, you can have the no and under, and that comes out around 1.95. So I mean, you need a 1-0 victory either way, or a 2-0 victory either way, and that would land for you. And I can see one of those. I can see that happening.
You mentioned also taking Venezuela on the Asian handicap line. How far would you push that?
Well, I mean, if you take them plus 2 goals, you know, you're starting to get into kind of the same sort of price. You're basically looking at if you take Venezuela +2, you're looking at backing them at the same price that Brazil are to win the match. So that's a clear take your pick there. That's whether you want Brazil to win or you think Venezuela could lose by a goal, which I think is fair. I think I'd rather take Venezuela +2 if I had to take one of these two bets than Brazil just to win, because you're getting Venezuela win, you're getting the draw, and you're getting Venezuela losing by a single goal as well, which is a lot to have on your side, isn't it, in a game that I think is going to be tight. So if I would take the +2. Again, it's a little short for me, I must admit. I think I'll play a goals bet here rather than playing the outrights.
Yeah. Finally, who do you see winning and advancing from Group C?
Tough one, isn't it? Do you know, I mean, in this game, I'm going to take the goals bet. But you know me, I like it. I like a decent price. I'm going to risk a little bet on Venezuela here, winning the game. You know, I know it sounds crazy, and that would mean that they would progress with Colombia, because I think Colombia will win the other game. So I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and it probably won't happen. Brazil will probably get through, but you know, you've got to have a little risk now and again, and speculate to accumulate. So I'll put my neck on the line. Notwithstanding that, I like the shorter price goals bet in this, the under 2.5 goals, and the both teams to score now. I like those. Yeah. But just as a bit of a fun bet, Venezuela to win at 7.0, 6 to 1. I think it's a good price.
All right, wonderful. Lee Phelps, thank you for joining us.
No problem.